Sort of break it down like this.
Oh, fantastic.
He is one of the biggest meatballs on Twitter.
I'm an idiot.
No, it's okay.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mike.
Could you please take back Tim Tebow?
Oh, awesome.
College football in touch.
I don't understand where these questions are coming from, Tom. That's about it for Manager's Corner. Go yourself and with your show coming up next on the Baltimore Oriole Baseball Network.
I made a note about college sports, and the note just says college sports in general.
Whammy!
Can't do it.
The changes that have happened in the Cub organization are multifold.
Boogie Boogie.
Great stuff.
Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions.
Just to all the listeners, thanks for listening.
And as we always like to do here on Chicago Sports Update, here on IEP Podcast, we'd like to welcome in Anthony Alex on the From Page to Screen Network hotline here. And you visit FromPageToScreen.com for all of the shows that they do. And as a guest, well, excuse me, not a guest, but one of the co-hosts of From Page to Screen, Anthony Alex, as well as host of the Angy Mailman Podcast. We welcome him on here as well, giving us his report from Alabama football and the past 2 weeks. While I'm sure Colorado State wasn't that much fun to really kind of take in and everything, certainly a conference game against Ole Miss happened this past week, and, well, you guys blanked them.
Yeah. I mean, the Colorado State, like we talked about the week before that game, McElwain, the head coach, is formerly Alabama's offensive coordinator. Him and Saban are buddies, so they wasn't just going to go nuts on them and throw 60 or anything like that. So, in Colorado State, they were, a good team. We got a lot of second, third string guys, got a lot of time. So, the funny thing is even though we beat Ole Miss, and I say we like I played on the team, but but we got Ole Miss 25-0. Everybody, all the pundits and all this stuff's like, Alabama's just not as good as they were last year. They're like beating everybody by 25 points, and everybody's just like wringing their hands going, well, Alabama's just not the team they were last year. They're talking like we've lost a game, Matt. They're talking like there's been a close game. I mean, the A&M thing is the most impressive on-the-road victory any team has got in the country right now, going into Johnny Football's backyard and beating him. And everybody else is just over there thinking Alabama's just closing up shop and Saban's retiring or something. I don't know.
Wow, that's certainly one way to put it. I certainly wouldn't think that. Though I think you did say after week one, well, I think it was a 20 or 25 point win margin that you guys had. That the Tide had, and you're saying, well, you can be disappointed by that. So
and I still am in the fact that. Alabama as a school and under Nick Saban, the paradigm shifted to where we used to just compare ourselves to other teams. Now we compare ourselves to other Alabama teams. Like, well, defense isn't as good as it was last year. And, 10 years ago, I'd be dancing in the street beating teams by 25 points every week. It used to be when, like, Gene Stallings was there, you'd beat people by 3 points. You'd just be like, oh, hooray, we won. But now it's like if anybody scores, then we got to figure out what's wrong with the defense. And if you don't beat somebody by 30 points, what's wrong with the offense? So I don't know.
Well, you got to give it credit. You got to give the entire program credit in that you guys have come that far. And not that I should say that you guys were at the brink of obscurity, but
it got bad. It got bad for a while. Last 2 years were very, very bad years.
But to have that standard and to get fans so quickly up to speed to demand excellence and demand winning and demanding having a dynastic team or a dynastic program, and you can't. It's a good standard to have.
Sure.
It very much is.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I was a little scared. When me and Bubba did the preseason show with you, we talked about thinking maybe Ole Miss might be a trap game. And because, they're a really good team and all that. And, Tin Pan was excited. He's like saying, wow, I can't believe I'm looking forward to the Alabama game this year. Because I think I heard the stat that this may be wrong. I don't have access to the computer right now, but I think somebody said it was like 82-2 or something, the Alabama and Ole Miss record, something really lopsided like that. And that might not be right, but I think that is kind of accurate. And so that being the case, Ole Miss, they don't really like to play Alabama because it's not historically gone good for them. The Tin Pan was a little excited, thinking, hey, we got a lot of speed. Of course, their quarterback, Bo Wallace, is just filling up Alabama's bulletin board this week and the week before with our receivers are better than A&M. We're quicker than this. We're going to for sure put some points on Alabama. All this other stuff running his mouth, and, he got the mullet knocked out of him. So,
well, yeah, it did happen. I didn't get to catch any of the game, but I was thinking about it during the prep work, saying, well, they did consider this a trap game as Saturday kind of went on. But while certainly 25 point, the 25-point win margin and the shutout. All right, hey, it is what it is. But look, doing some of the research today in the score sheet, the box score. It was a competitive first half. Only 3 field goals happening. That being the only scoring that was going on. What can I say? Well, you know what? They lived up to expectation, and there was enough respect there by Saban to have to change the game plan and change things as it was going along to put up more points to make up the rest for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and generally. Ole Miss games every year go this way. Ole Miss comes out, they play Alabama competitive in the first half, and then the difference in depth starts to show up because Alabama can continually run 5-star running backs one after another in there. And Ole Miss, have their share of 4- and 5-star players, but they're only like one deep. And then there's a good drop-off after their first-string guys. So that's historically how it goes. Is depth rears its head, and the second half, you can tell especially late in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, the Alabama offensive line was really starting to kind of have their way with Ole Miss, and that's that's kind of how it went, and we get scared and all this stuff because we're worried because we've been trained by Nick Saban now not to overlook anybody. And so now we all get all antsy and all this stuff. What are we going to do? But again, it's another victory. We're excited about it, and we've got a couple kind of softy games coming up. LSU, of course, lost to Georgia, so that kind of shows them as being having some chinks in their armor. So I don't know. We've got kind of smooth sailing for a little while, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's. Well, it's certainly there. You hate to say that the worst is behind you, but certainly the SEC you can't really take anything lightly. Excuse me, as that were. I mean, being just the best conference in college football. But rushing touchdowns to close out. Well, happening in the second half, a safety. Again, going back to the defense of Alabama, and one of the things that I've started to hear, I think it was from at least a pro scout or a professional analyst at the pro level, is that if you're going to start talking about 8 guys, you're 8 guys coming out of the defense from Alabama right now to the NFL. If that has to be on teams' draft boards. That has to be where they're going to look. You start there. That's where you start to build your defense. You get pieces from that sort of program, And
CJ Mosley is the complete leader of the Alabama defense. Middle linebacker. He could have went pro last year. He decided to hang in there. His degree situation is really important with his family and all that. Super smart guy. Football smarts. And if he doesn't go first round, it'd be a travesty because he's all over the place. He's batting down balls, and that safety that you referred to, that really is on 2 people's hands. One, the punter Mandel, he dropped it inside the 5, and then Landon Carter flew down the field and knocked it back right before it went into the end zone, and then somebody else was able to stop it. So it was right there. And then Ole Miss mistakenly, they ought to know by playing NCAA football on Xbox. Play action. If you're down in your own end zone like that, you need a quarterback sneak, try to get about 3 yards, some kind of breathing room, something. You don't when you're on your own goal line, you don't fake it to this guy, swing around this way, and do all this because you're going to get ate up. That's what they did. Bo Wallace is like faking the handoff, play action this. I'm going to run around the end. And by the time all that developed with their speed, they met him and pushed him back in 2. There you go. So Andrew Alex was there with me, and we pretty much yelled 9 points at that point because you got 2 Alabama's. They're going to kick right back off to them, and, of course, they drove down the field and put 7 more up. So,
yeah. That's just one of the things I see I've really started to pick up as far as the speed and the size that Alabama has and that the SEC is now famous for. But to do a play that creates space for the defense to get pressure or to apply pressure, even more pressure than just their normal 4-man line, the 4-man front or 3-man front, whatever is coming up that play. To create that for the in the offense, that's not really a smart way to go for it. But especially at the goal line situation.
Yeah, I was like, really? I mean, I'm not a coach, guys, but have you not seen this defense all day? How about just everybody just bundle up in a big package, everybody just push forward and try to get enough room to where the guy is like not going to get paint on his rear end when you knock him in his own end zone. Okay, let him at least get knocked in some grass. I don't know.
Exactly, a power jumbo set. Just go for that. Oh man, but yeah, looking into October. Certainly, it's a much easier schedule. Georgia State, Kentucky. I think ending the month at home with Tennessee. You got and with Arkansas coming in to your Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah,
and
Arkansas is of those games is probably the most troublesome. With the new coach from Wisconsin, he's done a few good things. Obviously, he doesn't have his kind of players down there, but he's doing some good things. So that's of those games. That's the one. Tennessee a little bit or whatever, but really Alabama should beat all 4 of those teams pretty handily. And being 8-0 at that point by the end of October, and kind of establishing their rank. The deal is of course Oregon's going to be nipping at their heels, and as long as Alabama pretty much gets past LSU, and then Auburn had a bye week, they're like pretending to be a good team this year right now. So. I mean, that could turn out to be a game. I don't know. The Iron Bowl is always something to look forward to. But, I mean, you really look like just a couple little humps, and they're back in it, and then you got to look at the SEC championship, probably Georgia, I would think, with the way South Carolina's kind of threw up all of themselves. And then, if you get past Georgia, then who knows? Is it going to be an Oregon thing? I think a lot of people want to see Alabama-Oregon.
Yeah, I think everyone is really looking forward to that across the country and finally creating that matchup that everyone's kind of really been talking about. I know I think we've referenced it a couple of times in the duration of this show, but over the past couple of years, having that pure Pac-12 offense meet just the cream of the crop with, Alabama or an SEC powerhouse. And just to see that.
One thing with that, though, Matt, everybody keeps saying, Oregon's finally going to get we need our chance. Oregon's finally going to get their chance. Does nobody remember 2010? Oregon played Auburn. Oregon got a chance to beat an SEC team, Alabama's little brother, and they couldn't do them. So don't act like you hadn't got a chance at all, guys, okay? I like Oregon. I'm scared of their offense. They're getting it done and all that. But don't act like you just been the little mistreated no vote guy. You made it up there. You got to play an SEC team. You didn't get it done. Okay, so you had a chance. Let's don't forget 2010.
Yeah, and it's not like we're talking about Boise State, which in its own right was to me a big joke. But that's another time for another story. Any closing thoughts for those of you that have not found you? Where can they find you?
Of course, over at angrymailman.com. I've been posting lots of pictures of T-shirts and stuff today. Had a run on people buying some shirts, so it's all the rage with the kids. Go to angrymailman.com, the podcast, and the all the gear and all that stuff. Maybe you need some baby bottles, Matt. About time, huh? Need some baby bottles, sir? I mean,
I think we could do that. I think I'll be sure to package that up with the thong and